How do you measure yourself, and how do you measure your success with yourself and others? Hi, this is a Fearless Online group, and today we're going to be discussing how to measure your success in life and in business, because all of us here on the panel know that the two are actually very, very interconnected. So my name is Jody Maley. I am from beautiful Quesnel, British Columbia in Canada, and I started my online business because I felt there was a real need and a passion inside of me to help other moms who have failed at other businesses learn the secret and steps to success for themselves and others. So I'm just going to go onto the panel here and have each one of the ladies introduce themselves and kind of what their passion is for their business. So Eugenia, you're unmuted. You can go first.
Good morning, ladies. I am Eugenia Marin. I am from Bolivia, currently residing in Reno, Nevada, here in the U.S. I'm very happy to be here joining this time with these beautiful ladies. And I started my online business, or started with online things about a year and a half ago, but I haven't been successful till a few months ago since I joined DSD. And I'm very happy and pleased to be here. I want to help I'm a single mother of two beautiful girls, and I would love to empower other moms and dads who want to spend more time with their kids. Thank you, Jody. Back with you.
Excellent. And I see Diane is unmuted, so you're up, Chickie.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Diane Klein. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada as well. And I'm here online to empower women to gain back their self-esteem for those families out there who are striving to become debt-free. I have a very strong desire to help everybody out there who is worried about debt, who needs to get out of debt, who need to get moving on with their lives and to move on to gaining the dreams that they love. Back to you, Jody.
Thanks. And Rachel, if you can unmute yourself there.
Hello, Jody. Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Kelly. I am located here in Toledo, Ohio. I am the mother of three, married to one husband. I like to be a little comical here, guys. So anyway, a little bit about me. I started out online to make an income because I desired to open up a wellness center for people who were broken, who are broken in spirit, and to encourage them that they could get past their pain in life. The journey was rough. Went and jumped in different programs. I did not want to be funded by the government. I wanted to be able to earn the income myself and be able to fund that. It was not until this past year that I found the program and the company that is actually helping my vision to come true, and for me to actually be able to see it. You know, a lot of times we come out here, Jody, we have a vision, we have a goal, we have a dream, and we're taking steps, but sometimes we just don't know the right steps. We don't know the right company. We don't know the right sponsor. We don't know any of that. And in our journey, a lot of times we will, you know, we'll maybe be sponsored by the wrong person, you know, maybe join the wrong company, but it's called on course, off course. As we see, we're off course, we get back on course. And I'm really, really grateful at this point in time in my life because I feel like I'm on course. I'm on course with the right company. I'm on course with the right team. And I'm on course in life in the direction that I'm going in. So just a little bit about me, and thank you very much for the opportunity to share.
Excellent. So you've heard from myself that I have a passion for people who have failed in businesses before. Diane has a passion for people to become debt-free. Eugenia has a passion to help other single moms earn an income. And Rachel has a big passion for people who are broken and in pain and to change their course. One of our other panel members who's not here is actually a grandma. And so she has a passion to help her husband succeed and you know, just to help people who are at that retirement stage actually get some more income back from them. So you know what? We all come from different walks. And the reason that I kind of wanted to introduce ourselves and what our passion is about is kind of in tune actually with what we're talking today, which is principle. I don't have it open, just a second. Principle something something. 21. Principle 21 from Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. And, you know, the title of it is Keep Score for Your Success. And I think one of the most important things that a lot of people don't realize is that they measure themselves against other people. And we are brought up this way, okay? As soon as you're born, I mean, what's the first thing you ask a new parent? Oh, when was the baby born? How much did the baby weigh? You know, how long was the baby? And, you know, all sorts of stuff. Because even right away from the moment of birth, we're measuring our baby against other regular babies and stuff. And I guess I'm kind of in the baby mode. My husband's going to go, what? He's probably going to yell at me from upstairs because we have 6 kids. But a friend of mine just had a newborn, and I saw him the other day, and he's a week old and stuff. And I found myself even asking those questions. And then as we grow and as we're getting, you know, bigger in life and stuff, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys remember that we've been moving around a lot from house to house, but for our older kids, we used to have their height measurements on the wall, so you could see how much they've grown, each one of them. And one of my kids, this is kind of a cute story, because when I was learning more about personal development and really getting that inner feeling that I didn't have to measure myself to other people, I just had to measure myself to me, okay? And what other people are doing, or their path, as all, you know, 4 of us here on the panel, we all have different paths right now. And so our measurements are going to be different as to what we feel is our level of success in our personal life and our business life. And I was reading something, and it said in there, and this is a known fact, by the way, you will be more loving and you can give more love by just hugging people. And they did a study about this, actually, and that hugging people X amount of times a day really helped. People were more relaxed, you can get more focused, and you can grow more by giving a hug a day to those especially that you love. So the more hugs you do a day, the better you are mentally and physically and emotionally. And I told this to one of my kids, and because I was hugging, I can't remember which one it is, and I was giving a great big hug and said, oh, I'm going to grow today because I'm hugging somebody in my family. And I wish I remember which child it was, but anyways, as soon as I gave him a hug, ran over and measured themselves on the wall, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, you gave me a hug. I wanted to make sure and see if I grew. So if anybody wants to kind of chime in here, maybe relate back to something in, you know, that you have probably measured yourself to other people and how you felt about that.
I went through a period of a little bit of harshness, as you said, and I did a lot of moving with my girls. And the last big move, the last 2 moves that we had were when we came up to the U.S., that it was not only a move from house, it was a move from a different culture, a different everything. And I remember we used to hug a lot with my girls, because every single day was a new challenge for each one of us. And even today, you know, the fact that you can just go and give a hug, it's something free, it's something comforting. You pass on to your kids, especially if you hug your kids, you're passing all that positive energy when they are going through tough moments. Even if you don't say a word, just hug them and hug all the people. And the thing here is that down in South America, we are big huggers and big kissers. And the one thing that struck us when we first moved here was that people always tend to keep their space. So we learned to be more spaceful until I finally found the guts to say, you know what? I am from South America, and we are big huggers and kissers. And little by little, they know us as the crazy South Americans. But whenever I meet someone, I greet them with a hug, and it feels really good, you know? I love that. Thank you, Jody. Back with you.
I think it's just awesome that you brought up that story about the hug story. I used to have a day home when my firstborn was just a baby, and I found this write-up, and it said 4 hugs a day helps you to just be yourself. 8 hugs a day helps you to grow. And then I think it was like 15 hugs a day helps you to survive, something like that. I don't remember the exact words, but it was exactly what you were talking about. And I remember I always pointed at that chart in my kitchen on the wall, and I said, okay, so how many hugs did you get today? When my kids got grumpy. So that's how I use that method. But that was a great story, Jody. Thank you for sharing that. It just hit home for me, because I feel like we grow because in life and in our minds, just because we do have connection with other human beings. And I think that's why we're created. I think we're created to touch. I think we're created to give love. I think we're created to help and spur others on and encourage them and love. Even like we're doing here on the panel, I think we're sending each other hugs just to let's get going, let's do this. We can keep at this. We can do this. Let's break through the cement wall, you know? And I think it was just the last few months where I realized, you know, I can't measure myself to the most successful people and think I have to be exactly like them. I have to measure myself against myself, and I have to start keeping score of where I am and where I want to go, because if I do that, then I push myself on and I grow more and I get to where my goals and my dreams are. Back to you, Jody.
Oh, are you trying to speak, Rachel? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to come out after she said
Go
back
ahead.
to you, Jody, so I didn't want to jump out there yet. You know, I'm just kind of like thinking about, you know, the conversation that we're having about hugging and kissing. I think I probably want to say I'm probably the biggest hugger and kisser that I know. I mean, like every time I go somewhere, you know, and a lot of times I don't think like maybe that person didn't want me to hug and kiss them, because some people don't like that. You know, they're very offended by it. But one of the things that, oh boy, my son is knocking at the door when I want to talk. One of the things that I found is that, you know, when you hug someone or kiss them or, you know, embrace them, that touch is really, really powerful. When you do that, it brings life to them. And I was doing some studying, I can't remember where it was at, and it was talking about, you know, people that are huggers and they're touchers, they live longer, they have happier lives. So, Eugenia, you know, kudos to you and everyone else that are huggers and kissers on this panel, because it's something, not only does it do something for you, but it does something for the person that you reach out to if they were to receive it. So that's a little bit about that, and I'll come back in a minute. I'm going to let my son in. Back to you, Jody.
Excellent, thank you. And it's kind of funny that hugs were the first thing that was brought up here and stuff too. And what I'd like you guys to do now is, those of you who have a pen and paper handy, because we're going to do a little bit of, you know, we've been going, this is actually the second time through the success principles here for us. And maybe we were all just meant to go through this again so that we could practice in here a little bit more too. But Jack Canfield asked, you know, what reinforces your behavior? Okay, so think about it. So if your natural inclination is to always improve yourself and your score, he asked this question: if you were to keep score on the 5 things that would advance your personal and professional objectives the most, imagine how motivated you would be each time the numbers improved in your favor. So that's what I wanted you guys to do with your pen and paper right now, is take a few moments and think about that. Like, really give yourself a chance to think about a way that if you had it measurable in your business and in your personal life, you know, what's the type of things that you would like to keep score on? So everyone here, I'm just going to mute us all out, and I'll give you guys about 2 minutes to think about this. Ooh, breakfast is served. That's my goal. having my hubby serve me every day with a cinnamon bun roll topped with icing and blueberries. Okay. So, guys, go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes, and then we'll ask what top 5 things, or even 2 or 3 from each of the panel came up. All right, so while everyone there is still giving some quick notes, of course, because I knew I was going to ask this, I had some stuff in advance. All right, so I'm going to share with you kind of my top things that, you know, in my business and personal life, if I did more of this every day and made it more measurable, that would bring more abundance into our lives. And I put down spending a half an hour with the kids, with each child too, because we have 2 here at home. The 4 older ones are grown up and gone away. So I think for myself and for my kids, making sure that I get that half hour of time, maybe either playing games or encouraging them to read. And a lot of times I'll just turn off all the electronics in our house and just say, guess what? We are all reading. And you know what? Having that quality time with your family is important. The other thing, and as I'm speaking, you're going to hear my family because they're enjoying breakfast in the other room. We make an important thing of this every single day, and that is to have a family dinner. This is a time that, you know, my husband and I had chosen, you know, quite a few years ago, that everyone's at the table at the same time. We talk about our day, we eat dinner together, and I know for ourselves how measurable that is, because my youngest son last year struggled a lot with throwing up every week and every couple of days, and he really struggled with that. And then once we instilled this again, hey, you know, you need to sit at the table, enjoy your food, and we incorporated good conversation around that. And it's actually been several weeks now that the littlest guy has not thrown up. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why. And the other thing, my third thing that I thought that I could use to improve my business and my personal life was to daily encourage my team individually. And I know with some people who have really, really large teams, you know, that might mean every day that you just send a message out to 4 or 5 people. But I know from past experience that my business exponentially grows more when I give personal one-on-one contact with a team member. And you can either do that by the phone, you could do that by email, you could even just do a little quick shout out on Facebook. There's so many different ways that we can show appreciation for our team members and those that we're helping. All right, so who wants to go first and share with what they've written down? I'm muting myself now, by the way.
I can come out, Jody, next and share. I'm with you too. My husband and I actually grew up with the tradition of having meals together. Like the way we grew up is we had family meals together all the time, and we've incorporated it into our family. And I know it's hard in the beginning with the little kids because they don't always want to eat the food that you make because they want their special little kids food, right? They like Kraft Dinner, or they like this, or they like that. Whereas we're German and we have sometimes traditional dishes. So slowly we introduce them, and now the bigger kids have no problem. And now we're working on the little guy coming to the supper table and spending time with us and telling him, okay, you can't eat before supper. You have to come and sit at the top supper table, and making it a time of fun and a time of family time, because we've always done that. And also I have always, and I strive to do that, is to individually tuck each child in at night, because I think that's very important. And I think I read that in one of the success books I was reading, the person was saying it is so very important for these young minds and these young people to know that when you tuck them in at night, they're getting up with you in the morning, and that they're ready for that day the next day, because you spent those few minutes at night with each one individually. And as far as my team, I am also striving to build my team and to appreciate them. And I do send out, even just to my list, every single day or every second or third day, I send out a list, and I include that little message and say, I appreciate you so much, because I think that is just so important to mention to people and tell them how much you do appreciate them and how much you believe in them. And I'll just randomly go on my Facebook and say, I believe in you, or when I answer back on Facebook, I think it's so important just to mention, if you appreciate somebody who's a leader, just tell them and just be open about it, and just do that. In other words, celebrate the success and celebrate other people's successes. I think that's so important. Who's next?
Awesome. I loved hearing that, Diane. Eugenia?
I can be next. Yeah.
Excellent. There you go.
All right. Just as you guys, my top priority was to get together with my girls and have that little quality time on a daily basis. So we always have dinner together. It doesn't matter if we have a game, we have whatever going on, we always sit at the table and we have those little times that we share about their days, how are they doing. And for us, for me, it's very important that we start that with a little blessing. So that's always something that we do every night. And even in the morning when we sit to get our breakfast together, I always pray for them to have a wonderful day, and ask God to protect and guide and support my kids in whatever they need in their lives. And the second one is, as you ladies are doing, to spend sometimes just a few minutes with one of the girls individually. And that helped me to build a stronger relationship with each one of them. I see them more confident. That helps them immensely in their self-esteem. It helps them with their school and all the things that they go through on a daily basis. Then my second thing is to I'm trying, since I started with a panel with you guys, I try to have my daughters read encouraging books, and books that will help them develop their self-esteem as well. So I got this 7 Habits for Teenagers yesterday for them to read every day if they can. And then regarding my business, my thing is to learn every single day something new, keep up with my business, and start building my downline. I already have one sign up so far this weekend, and I'm very, very happy that I do believe in this business that we are in together, and I look forward every single day to meet with you. You meant a lot in my life. Thank you. Back with you, Jody.
Hey, Jody, can you, I just want to make sure I'm answering that question exactly the way you ask it. Can you ask that question again for me, please?
Sure. It is. I learned how to split screen on my new computer, so.
Yay.
Okay, so if you were to keep score on the 5 things that would advance your personal and professional objectives the most, what would that be?
Keep score. Okay. All right. That was the word that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
As far as keeping score, what would I do differently, or what would I do? One would be basically what I do anyway. I mean, I have my family to once a week. We sit down and we talk about their goals, their objectives, what they want in life, and we measure. We measure from, what did we talk about last week? and what happened throughout the week to get you to where you want to go. Another thing for me is my relationship with my husband, which is very important to me. So, a lot of times when we're in business, I see many people who chase their dreams, and as a result, they lose their spouse because they're so busy chasing their dreams. So for me, another really important one would be to make sure that I'm connecting with my husband on a daily basis. We're communicating. We're talking about the things that, that come up in our life. I have found that you got to really be careful, because a lot of times what happens is a disconnect starts taking place. You look up and he's way over here and you're way over here. It's like, hey, what happened? So for us, we actually even started implementing some things to bring us back into that place where we desire to be, because we really had been going, he'd been writing his book and I had been building my business, and I'm looking up like, hold on a second, we're like strangers right now. So we actually have been implementing getting together every night at 10:30, and doing a couples devotion together. We are reading we are reading a book called Love and Respect. Also on the weekends we have, because we found that, and I think this happens a lot of couples too. They do the same thing over and over and over again, and it's all of a sudden it's like, this is getting boring, So we have begun to do more adventurous stuff. When you're married to somebody for 21, 22 years old, and you're getting older, you kind of settle down a little bit. So we have been implementing, doing some more fun and exciting things on our date nights, which is really, they have been awesome. I've really been enjoying that. And as far as my business is concerned, just to me, it's taking it to the next level. Really, really, really keying in it. When you're somebody like me who gets 1,000 ideas, I mean, my head is always pounding with ideas, and I'm like, just one person. How do you, keep all these ideas under control? So, really getting committed to writing down everything, every idea that I have. And I may not be able to touch that idea right then and there, but at least it's cleared out of my head, so that I can go forward and move forward in my goals and my vision. Because what I found is that when you have all these ideas, they kind of hold you down, and they keep you from moving forward to doing anything. So for me, it's just been really, really getting committed and focused to the one idea and not being all over the place. Back to you, Jody.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what just kind of jumped out at me when you were saying that is how easy it is for moms or dads or grandmas, brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, is that we tend to put ourselves into a sense of overwhelmment. That, I think, is kind of what Rachel was saying. You get so many ideas, and it's hard to keep track of it all, and then you just get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you get immobilized. And when you get immobilized, you don't move forward. And I know one of the things that really helped myself this year, and I had to go through a couple accountability partners. I mean, and it wasn't because I did something wrong or they did something wrong. It was for whatever reason. It just didn't work. But I knew that the key to my success was to be accountable. And for the last, 20-some years, I've only been accountable really to myself. And I thought, you know what, how much powerful would this be if I was accountable to another person? And then that's when I got together with this group and met Diane. It was meant to be at this time. So give yourself permission. And kind of what kind of struck me with Rachel, and that we've been talking a lot, my business partner Diane and I, we've been talking a lot about, how can we move ourselves forward, like what's holding us back, because even if you're on a path, it is really easy, like Rachel said, to get that on course, off course, on course, off course. And we were listening to one of our top income producers a few weeks ago, and she said she fully laid it out on the table exactly what she does. And she, everyone is at a different point. So Eugenia is just starting out. So what her day is going to look like right now is a lot different from mine and Diane's and Rachel's day. because she's at a beginning point of her business. But what 3 months from now will be, she'll have a totally different aspect of what her day looks like, because right now when she's still learning and figuring stuff out and you're putting that into action, it takes time to make that a consistent habit. But one of the things that I liked that this lady Val had showed us and talked about was having a dump list. So on Sundays, I have purposely made my weekends trying to stay off the computer as much as I can on the weekends, just so I can get back to who I am and my essence and what I want to share. So on Sundays, I have a binder here that I just kind of, all my ideas, just put them all on paper. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense or whatever. And then during the week, I'll just look at that big list and say, well, what 3 things is the most important thing today to put on there? And what Valerie then mentioned, and so I've kind of have the big dump list, and then she mentioned having a little book, right? So that's what I've done too. So I've had it, this is Jody's goal book. I actually had this several years ago, and I read through where my goals were from 5 years ago to what they are now, and it's kind of neat. But, you know, I take some of those key things, and I know this looks like a long list, but actually one of them is just doing like my YouTube and then the different ways of, you know, putting it out there and stuff. So, you know, choose your top 3 things every day and in your business and in your personal life, something that you can measure yourself with and help you to grow. Because everybody's going to be a little bit different on what you think your success in your personal and your business life is, and we really, really encourage that. So we're just at the end of the half hour. If anyone else would like to make a quick comment to close us off, that would be awesome.
Jody, I wanted to come out for a second and just kind of piggyback on some of the things that you mentioned. And not only that, I mean, I noticed there's some people that are listening in, so they may want to share some input and some insight or some takeaways that they took from this hangout as well, as far as, you know, maybe some experiences they've had. But, you know, when I think about, you know, just this journey, you know, because what do we name the title of this? How to measure your success in life and in business. And one of the things that I want to leave with those that are listening in is to not measure your success based on someone else and what they do. And that is in every area of your life, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in your children, or whether it's in your business. A lot of people, you know, they look next door to, you know, maybe another parent and their child, and then they are envying, you know, oh, your relationship with your child is so much better, or with your husband is so much better. If we would just learn how to set goals for our own, the things that we own, the things that we want in our life, set those goals and work towards those goals and measure those goals, it will save us so much heartache and so much pain. Because what happens, I'm just going to give you an example for marriage, for example. If I were to say, oh, their marriage is so much better than mine, so then what I'm going to do is every day I come home and I'm going to start looking at my husband and I'm going to start saying, no, he could do this better. He should do that. You know, her husband does this. Don't do that. Measure your success based on your goals. Back to you, Jody.
I'd like to jump out here quickly, Jody, for a last comment, and that is for everybody listening. Take to heart what Jody has said about the accountability of a partner and having a team of like-minded people. Like, I cannot express to you how much I've grown here the last few months just because I got in contact with these ladies, and I am here every single day because I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about how my business is growing and what I'm taking away from it and what I can share with others on my team as well. So that is very important. And also be accountable, as Rachel has mentioned, with your husband. I mean, my husband is totally on board with me on what I'm doing, and it's so much better as a team to do this business working from home because you know where you stand with your husband, and you know that you encourage him, and you know that he encourages you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as we finish off here, I'm going to leave you with just one other thing that Jack Canfield mentioned, is that when you are doing, kind of keeping your own little score of stuff, measure really what you want don't measure what you don't want. Okay? So as you're going through this process, you will have heard all of us on this panel. We were saying what we're going to do. Okay? So, for example, you want a better relationship with your kids. So you're not going to say, you know, I don't want to be away from my children as much as I am, and traveling as much as I do, and that I miss all their stuff. But if you put out there, you know, I'd like to spend more quality time with my kids, whether it's a half hour a day or a couple hours a week, this is my goal, and to make yourself measurable to that, okay? So just on the end there, you know, measure what you do want and not what you don't want. We are all individuals, and how you measure your success in both your personal life and your business is essential. And we on the panel, by the way, we probably mentioned a lot more personal scores that we wanted to, you know, keep track of than we did even business. And I think that that's a really, really good blend, because, you know, sharing with your family, like Diane says, and having your date nights, like Rachel said, and, you know, just hugging your kids a lot more, like Eugenia said, that's where it counts. That should be our true measure, is how we are reacting and giving to our friends and family. So take care, have a great day, and please go to fearlessonlineentrepreneurs.com. The replay of this will be there, and feel free to make comments or suggestions, or maybe some way that you are choosing today to take a little bit more action and keep score based in a positive, happy way. Take care, everyone.